A 53-year-old man in Flagler County, Florida, woke up from a nap in his van to find a deputy staring at him, and 5 endangered sea turtle eggs chilling between his feet like he was incubating the world's dumbest omelet. Wesley Winters wasn't just parked anywhere, folks. No, this genius decided to catch some Z's directly outside a house he'd been legally banned from approaching after getting arrested for aggravated battery. So right off the bat, we've got a man violating a no-contact order while napping on the evidence of a felony wildlife crime. Stellar life choices all around. The deputy wakes him up, asks him to step out of the vehicle, and immediately spots these white and tan orbs covered in sand sitting in a tray on the floorboard. Sea turtle eggs. Just casually rolling around his van like he's running an endangered species Uber. The deputy calls Florida Fish and Wildlife, starts bagging the evidence, and that's when he notices a marijuana bowl on the ground next to the driver's side door. Because of course there is. At this point, the deputy's probably thinking this day can't get weirder. Spoiler alert, it absolutely does. Officer asks Winters the golden question, "Do you have any drugs on you?" And this man, this beautiful disaster of a human being, looks the cop dead in the eye and says, "Not that I'm aware of. Not that he's aware of. Like narcotics just spontaneously materialize in your pockets while you're sleeping near turtle eggs. Sir, that's not how pharmacology works. That's not how anything works." So naturally, the deputy asks for consent to search the van, and Winters agrees because apparently self-preservation left the chat around the same time critical thinking did. The search turns up a goddamn mobile pharmacy, methamphetamine, fentanyl, marijuana, an alprazolam pill, AHC vape pen, a handmade metal pipe, another marijuana bowl that matches the one outside. This van had more Schedule I substances than a DEA training seminar. Meanwhile, Florida Fish and Wildlife shows up to deal with the turtle egg situation, and Winters tries to explain himself. He tells them he found the eggs washing down the beach from eroded nests and picked them up because he thought they were non-viable. Which, sure, that's definitely what you do when you find endangered wildlife. You scoop it up and store it next to your meth stash for safekeeping. That's just good environmental stewardship right there. Here's the thing, sea turtles are already fighting for survival against pollution, climate change, and plastic straws. They don't need Wesley Winters adding random dude's drug den to the list of threats. Somewhere in the Atlantic, a mama sea turtle is laying eggs on a beach, praying her babies make it past the seagulls and the surf, completely unaware that the real danger is a guy in a van who can't even remember what drugs he's carrying. Winters gets slapped with 5 misdemeanor counts for possessing the turtle eggs and 5 felony counts for taking, disturbing, and mutilating marine turtle eggs, plus possession of meth, fentanyl, alprazolam, and marijuana. That's over a dozen charges before breakfast. The sheriff called him the dumb criminal of the week, which feels generous considering this man violated a restraining order, committed multiple wildlife felonies, and operated a mobile Walgreens all in one morning. That's not dumb, that's performance art. The van's been impounded. The eggs are in protective custody. And Wesley Winters is sitting in jail wondering where it all went wrong, completely unaware that the answer is literally everywhere, my guy. Anyway, that's Florida on a Sunday morning. Let's see what Fresh Hell Monday brought us. And if you thought that was the peak of human stupidity, buckle up, because we're about to talk about the dumbest job interview of the year, except the gig was professional felony courier, and the HR department was the Baxter County Sheriff's Office. So here's how this masterpiece of criminal incompetence goes down. Scammers working out of some overseas call center where dignity goes to die managed to convince an Arkansas resident that they were in deep legal shit. Federal agents, frozen bank accounts, the whole 9 yards of bureaucratic terror. And because fear makes people do absolutely batshit things, this poor bastard agreed to liquidate $60,000 in cash and hand it over to a courier for safekeeping. 60 grand. In cash. To a stranger. Because when you're scared, logic takes a permanent vacation and never sends a postcard. Now, the scammers weren't stupid enough to show up themselves. Oh no, they outsourced the actual crime to what's called a money mule. That's industry speak for the idiot who actually has to knock on the door and collect the felony evidence. These mules are usually desperate, gullible, or both. They get recruited online, promised easy money for playing delivery driver, and somehow never stop to ask why legitimate companies don't use Venmo. This particular mule, whose name we're not releasing because he's already having the worst week of his life, thought he was just picking up a package. Spoiler alert, the package was a federal crime with a bow on it. But here's where it gets beautiful. The victim didn't just roll over. They contacted law enforcement, who immediately smelled the scam from 3 states away. And then, because we live in a glorious timeline where YouTubers are apparently part of the justice system now, the cops teamed up with a scam buster group called Trilogy Media. These guys make content by trolling scammers, recording their bullshit, and occasionally helping set up stings that would make Dateline NBC jealous. So together, law enforcement and a couple of guys with ring lights decided to turn this pickup into a trap so obvious it might as well have been labeled "free felonies here." They set up a fake handoff, staged the whole thing. The Mule rolls up to the residence in Baxter County on August 14th, probably listening to motivational podcasts about financial freedom, completely unaware he's about to become the star of a very different kind of viral video. He knocks on the door. The victim answers. Pleasantries are exchanged, and just as he's reaching for that duffel bag full of $60,000 in absolutely not suspicious cash, the cops materialize like they've been hiding in the bushes this whole time, which, let's be honest, they probably were. Cue the handcuffs. Cue the rights being read. Cue the Mule realizing that easy money and federal charges are actually synonyms. He gets arrested on the spot. No high-speed chase, no dramatic standoff. Just a guy standing on a porch holding a bag of evidence with his own fingerprints all over it, wondering where his life went so catastrophically wrong. Meanwhile, the actual scammers are probably halfway around the world, already calling their next victim, completely unbothered by the fact their courier just got turned into a cautionary tale. The Baxter County Sheriff's Office said this was part of a broader operation targeting money mules in the area because apparently this scam has become so common that law enforcement had to go full Ocean's 11 just to keep up. They arrested multiple people during that week-long operation, which means there's a whole lineup of geniuses out there who thought mysterious cash pickup from a terrified stranger was a solid career move. And here's the kicker. The scammers are still out there, still calling, still convincing people their lives are in danger unless they withdraw their life savings and hand it to a guy named Kevin who showed up in a Honda Civic. The call centers keep running, the mules keep applying. And somewhere in Arkansas, $60,000 that never left the evidence locker is having a better day than everyone involved in this story. So what we learned? Don't trust anyone who demands cash. Don't be a money mule unless you're really into orange jumpsuits. And if a YouTube crew is involved in your arrest, you've officially hit rock bottom. Believe it or bullshit? Leave it in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, because God knows what other insane news I'm going to dig up next time.